Good Morning Night Vale is brought to you by The Disappearances of Lydia Fontaine, a new independently produced and crowdfunded 10-episode original audio drama. Set in a deceptively familiar world of electronic surveillance and machine-mediated communication, The Disappearances of Lydia Fontaine follows Lydia Ryan and her friends, lovelorn Ethan and wannabe internet sensation Dee, as they struggle to unravel the mystery of her mother's disappearance. Escape the sinister Fontaine family, and survive the feud over her grandfather's supernatural legacy. It weaves bitter family drama and high-stakes intrigue with fantasy and cyberpunk elements to create a surreal mystery about secrets and grudges, old books, big data, and the promise of infinite knowledge. And do not forget the talking birds. It's a full-cast production with original music and a bespoke soundscape presented through a series of found-footage-style surveillance recordings. And it's important to note, this show was made entirely without generative AI. Even the computers are voiced by human actors. Episodes are free, and you can start listening right now with the Season 1 finale due to come out on August 16th. For more information, go to lydiadisappears.com. and find The Disappearances of Lydia Fontaine wherever you get your podcasts and start listening from the beginning.
Insurance isn't one size fits all, and shopping for it shouldn't feel like squeezing into something that just doesn't fit. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they show you options that fit your budget. Enough hunting for discounts, trying to calculate rates, and tinkering with coverages. Maybe you're picking out your very first policy, or maybe you're just looking for something that works better for you and your family. Either way, they make it simple to see your options. No guesswork, no surprises. Ready to see how easy and fun shopping for car insurance can be? Visit Progressive.com and give the Name Your Price tool a try. Take the stress out of shopping and find coverage that fits your life, on your terms. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
The desert seems vast, even endless.
And yet, scientists tell us that somewhere, even now, there is snow.
Good morning, Night Vale.
Here we are, episode 2 of Good Morning Night Vale, Glow Cloud episode. Awesome. Welcome to it. My name is Meg Bashwiner, and I work on Welcome to Night Vale. And that's me.
I'm Hal Lublin. I am the voice of Steve Carlsberg, and just an interested citizen.
And I'm Symphony Sanders, Tamika Flynn, your local cat-headed lady. Nope.
I'm an Egyptian goddess. Got a cap for a head.
We're in a real punchy place, but thank you so much for joining us again on this Night Vale recap show. And today we are recapping episode 2 of Welcome to Night Vale, which is entitled Glow Cloud. So this podcast aims to take a look back on the episodes of Welcome to Night Vale and talk about our feelings after re-listening them and telling some fun stories about the making of them. So the Glow Cloud episode description is: a mysterious glowing cloud makes its way across Night Vale, plus new Boy Scouts hierarchy, community events calendar, and a PTA bake sale for a great cause. So that's our description. What are our reactions and revelations, guys?
Well, this is the episode that launched 1 million umbrella-based cosplays, isn't it?
Yes.
Like, the thing I
Sure
see
is.
the most, wherever I go, if there's Night Vale cosplay, I always a ton of Cecil's and Carlos's, of course. But
Yeah.
like the number of glow clouds I've seen is staggering. And I forgot that it showed up this early on the show. I like it. This is another one. We talked about this last week with how much of the mythology is put in place. And it's here again. Khoshekh, the glow cloud, John Peters. It's crazy.
Yeah, and when you look at the Glow Cloud cosplay, you can really see the variety there. Like there's the Glow Cloud where it's just like, oh, I'm just going to have an umbrella. And then other ones where I am the cloud and they wear like a big ball gown. Funny enough, I was at a parade this past weekend and there was a woman who had a clear umbrella that had cotton business all over the top. And I was like, I just yelled, glow cloud. She was not a glow cloud. She was just a cloud because there was just rain coming down. Like there were crystal beads coming down from it. But that's how influenced I am by this.
It's permeates you even at parades.
Yes. This episode also talks about Hiram McDaniels for the first time.
Yeah, we get our first Hiram. And this is like, there's lots of interesting characters that make their way into this episode. We kind of, in the first episode, we get the angels. So that's kind of our like first weird thing that happens. In this episode, we get a glow cloud and we get Hiram McDaniels, which are just very much other type of characters. We also get John Peters, the farmer, which not to say John Peters is basic, not to align John Peters with basic dumb, but so we get the glow cloud and we get Hiram McDaniels all in one episode.
Wait, I can't remember. Is this the one where the guy with the Indian head I can't remember if it was this one or the one.
Apache Tracker.
The Apache Tracker.
They mentioned the Apache Tracker in the first episode.
Okay.
They call him the Indian Tracker. This is the first time that the Apache Tracker is corrected.
And they talk about what a racist asshole he is.
Yes. Also in this episode, we get Khoshekh, which is a floating cat. So we've got a glowing cloud, a floating cat, and literally a five-headed dragon. So these are the characters that are starting to show up in Night Vale, things that are not your basic farmer, your basic racist cultural appropriator, but things that are definitely broad strokes in the supernatural.
Khoshekh is my favorite, bar none favorite Night Vale character. Like, bar none.
Agreed.
I'm not a cat person. I'm a dog person. I'm a publicly avowed and known dog person. But if I could have a Khoshekh, like something about the description and the story of Khoshekh as it develops, I, for some reason, connect with that character. And that is the thing more than anything else that is talked about in the show, that I have a very clear picture in my head of what I think Khoshekh looks like, what I think the bathroom looks like. And I don't know why. I don't know why that's the thing I connect with, but it's intense.
Will you talk about your headcanon for Khoshekh and for the bathroom?
Because I will.
Well, go ahead. You talk about Khoshekh. You talk about Khoshekh. I'll talk about the bathroom. How's that?
Well, I think they go hand in hand. Let's be honest.
True.
True. So Khoshekh for me, for even before he's described even more, like, because he's floating like a certain amount off the ground and whatnot, like, I just imagine him being like almost like balled up, like he's just like about to nap all the time. But honestly, I always imagine the bathroom as having that one flickering light, but it's constant. It's like never actually bright enough to see anything. It's just kind of like flickery. It's like that weird bathroom that you would probably back out of.
That's hilarious. See, I always picture a black cat, or initially my image was a black cat, but like, when you pick a cat up by its middle and its paws are sort of dangling?
Yeah.
Like it's sort of hunched around. That's the state that Khoshekh is constantly in, like just being picked up by an unseen force, and sort of force ghosty too, like a glow.
Yes.
And then the bathroom is the kind that you would find at like at your elementary school, where they updated the building in like 1955 and it hasn't gone into disrepair. It just keeps getting cleaned, and they will never add anything new to it. So you have original paper towels, original soap dispensers, the separate sinks. It's got odd fluorescent lighting and the weird, like the tile pattern where it's all white tile, and then every once in a while there's a tile that's got some color to it.
Yes.
And they were like, this is a great pattern.
Children will like this.
Great construction in the 50s. My canon for the bathroom is like a little bit more early 80s, like where the choices were made with like the Formica countertops, the like pink Formica countertops.
Yes.
And my headcanon for Khoshekh is an orange cat.
Wow.
It's like a fluffy orange cat, like Jeffrey's cat, Simone. Jeffrey Craner has a gorgeous cat named Simone, who is like a big fluffy orange cat. And I kind of picture Khoshekh before we like got more descriptors about Khoshekh. It's just the cat I pictured, just like a fluffy, kind of bouncy orange cat.
He sounds like this. Meh.
Yeah.
Meh.
I feel like I reject any version of Khoshekh described beyond what I imagined in my head. Like, I'm unwilling to let go of the headcanon.
You're stuck on that.
It's a very fan thing to do. It's like, no, what they said is wrong. Clearly it's a black cat being picked up by its middle in a 1950s bathroom. I should write a letter.
But that's...
Well, hey, fans, we would love to hear from you. Tell us about your station men's bathroom headcanon and your Khoshekh pre any descriptors, but from your Glow Cloud episode Khoshekh canon. Tell us that. Tell us your headcanon. Great. So yeah, but we've devoted a lot of time to speaking about Khoshekh because Khoshekh becomes such an important character.
Yes.
All these characters become super.
You
important.
Is important.
Yeah. He was kind.
You is kind. You is important.
You're smart.
Look, Khoshekh, obviously, as we toured, Khoshekh became very popular on the social medias.
What is that short for?
Social media.
Oh, okay.
The social meds?
For nothing. It is
the social meds.
It's just as long. It's actually longer. But I have to make a confession, you guys.
Oh boy.
Khoshekh is gone.
You lost Khoshekh.
I lost it. I'm so upset.
Okay.
I thought I had put him in my suitcase, and I think he's in Hampton Inn somewhere.
He's not in Australia.
No, because he didn't make it. He didn't make it to Australia. I realized when I was in Australia that I didn't have him, and I was like, "Oh, I must have just left him," because I put him back on my bookshelf when I come home, and then I got home. He was not there.
Did we tell the listening audience that Khoshekh is the stuffed cat that was gifted to you? Did I black out?
I guess maybe we should tell them that.
So there's a wonderful fan gifted us a Khoshekh that Symphony has taken around the world.
Yeah.
And now Khoshekh has found a new home.
In the void.
We're not sure where or what it all means, but no, Khoshekh had an important life. The stuffed Khoshekh.
I will gladly accept a new one to bring with me on new tours.
To bookend this a little bit, one time I snaked a Hiram McDaniel that somebody had given, which was like a 5-headed dragon costume that they had painted. So you had all the different color heads, and it sat on my desk at work. And then I had an intern one summer who was a Night Vale fan. And so as a gift to her at the end of her internship, I gave her the Hiram.
That's nice of you. Way to go, Hal. Look at you really, really taking the lesson of internship.
Friends and fans, I don't know if you know this, but Hal Lublin is the sweetest, mushiest lover that there ever was. He will give you the shirt off his back. Not really, because he only has 5 shirts.
He's generous.
He's generous. Yes.
He has 150 shirts, and they're all just the Welcome to Night Vale Thrilling Adventure crossover t-shirt.
I do have multiples of that shirt. And I did not do the smart thing where one of them is like, this is for later. I just wear them both. One of them is the one with the hole and one of them is the one without the hole. But they're both like, I've almost gone to the point where I'm like, could I go to, We Love Fine made those t-shirts, I think. And I thought, could I go to them and get like the mold for it somewhere or something? Can I get more? I need more.
Send you the Adobe Illustrator file and then you can print as many as you want.
Yes.
That will be the only shirt Hal wears ever.
But I'll have a hoodie and a hat and socks and pants.
A tuxedo, have it printed just like over and over again on a tuxedo.
Oh,
listen, every time I wear that shirt, it's an opportunity to tell somebody that I'm part of the show. Either one. And then I'll get somebody who's like, oh, and they're like, great shirt. And I always get to go, which one? And they're like, Night Vale. I'm like, I play Steve Carlsberg.
And they're like, what?
They're like, okay, great, good job. And then I'm like, I need to go to therapy about this. This all needs to be unpacked. Why do I need to do this? That's what this podcast is really about. Forget episode 2. Let me lay down on the couch for a second.
This is actually not a podcast. This is an intervention.
No.
We thought knowing you, the best way to get you to agree to an intervention would be to tell you have to be on a podcast.
You tricked me. You did. That was a good one. It was a good one.
Got him.
It's a trap. Podcast or a Hal Lublin trap?
It's a trap.
That's how you trap a Hal. That's how you trap a Hal Lublin. Is like, hey, you want to be on my podcast?
Yes.
If you're looking to snare the most dangerous game of Lublin.
Oh my God.
It's true. I admit it. I have a question, bring it back to the episode.
Yes, please.
When they call the Apache tracker an asshole, is that the only time there's ever been cursing in Night Vale? Because I do not remember cursing really being a part of the show. I mean, I know it's not a regular part of it.
Yeah, they don't drop F-bombs.
Yeah, I was struck by that too, the a-hole comment. I can't speak to the catalog of cusses on the show, but I do know that it's pretty much they do make an effort to not write cusses into the show, and that when we do get that little explicit logo, it's because of the weather, because we don't censor our weather, because we're not going to censor someone else's art, but because it's Cecil's on the radio. And maybe I don't know about the rules of the radio in Night Vale about what, if you can say F or S or effing S, but
yeah,
effing your S, effing your A and the S.
That's a lot.
Hey, Night Vale fans, reach out to us. Let us know if you've cataloged the cuss words, the curses, however you say it.
I actually say it curses, but I feel like it's funnier to say cusses.
Cuss.
Yeah.
Well, my grandma always said cuss, and I'd be like, oh, you shouldn't cuss. And then, but the curse words is like, that's very proper. Be like, don't say curse words.
Profanities.
Yes.
There has to be a cusses of Night Vale Tumblr. I'm sure it exists.
It's got to be something.
Where it's all cataloged.
There's in every kind of Tumblr that exists, and that's why the internet is great, and that's why the internet is wrong.
That's why I live there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so back to our episode. We get the scouts. We get the full-on listing of the scouts, which I think later are amended, and we get some more scouts.
Right.
But that is one of my little favorite parts of Night Vale is how much fun they must have had writing those different scout names. Do you guys have a favorite scout? I mean, I'm drawn to the Eternal Scout. Just it feels it's the strongest one.
Yeah. But I like the Fear Scout. It's just fun. And they just keep going with it, which is in classic Joseph and Jeffrey style, just being like, let's see how ridiculous we can get with this thing.
You could take this thing that is normal, that is just the Boy Scouts, and turn it into this what are the Boy Scouts looking like in Night Vale? You learn so much about this world by taking something from our world and putting it into their world and showing us what it looks like.
And there are so many of them, right? Even going through Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, it's you could be an Eagle Scout, you could be a Boy Scout, you could be a Cub, you could do all those other things. Weeblos. Is that one? Weeblos? Night Vale fans, tell us about it.
We talked about cosplay a little bit at the beginning, but another thing I've seen a lot of is people sporting all the badges.
Yes,
who are showing up as scouts, Eternal Scouts, and it's I don't know if it's become there are actual people who are Star Trek fans that live as Klingons, and I wonder if the Night Vale equivalent is we have formed an actual version of the Scouts, and here are the things to become an Eternal Scout, and
I hope so.
That kind of, which is my favorite as well, because it just sounds like if you're going to be a Scout, be an Eternal Scout.
Be Eternal Scout.
What are we doing here?
I mean, Hal, that is the dream, right? That someone is being this is my real. It's my real life.
Yeah.
And on the subject of the cosplay and the fans kind of making their own thing, one of the best, most interesting pieces / weird pieces of burlesque that I ever saw was a group of burlesque performers in New York City did a Welcome to Night Vale night where there was different pieces that were done, and Joseph and I went to go see them, and it was so great that when we did a Night Vale birthday party, we asked some of those performers to come and do their burlesque pieces, their Night Vale inspired burlesque pieces for our audience at the birthday party, and there was two performers who were they were scouts, and they were so creepy. There was two of them. They dressed exactly the same. They moved in perfect unison together and did a burlesque act, and they're just it was so cool and so beautiful and so weird and creepy that it was these eternal scouts in burlesque, and it was just a really cool thing that some fans of the show made that we got to see and then show to our audience.
I was kittening for them that night, so I was picking up all their droppings, all their burlesque droppings, and one of those performers was Liberty Rose from Philly, and they were both so amazing, and all those burlesque performers that we had that night were just phenomenal, and they continue to be fans and support the show.
Iris Explosion, she does a Kevin act.
Yes.
That is a perfectly Night Vale toned, or Desert Bluff toned, I guess, the voice for Kevin, and has it as her act, that Kevin act, and it's so good. And Iris is just such a wonderful person and so great to work with and so great to see. But Iris's Kevin is my second favorite Kevin, next to Kevin R. Free. That is... If there was any other way I wanted to see it, it is as this specific burlesque performance.
Yes, agreed.
Up next, we have a conversation with the writer and creator of Welcome to Night Vale, Joseph Fink. But first, let's talk about the weather. This episode is The Bus is Late by Satellite High, which is a rap song.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, I love the rap musics, right? I'm an African-American lady, so I am keen to the hip-hops. And I just saw this song. I remember the first time I heard it, even before I re-listened to it, I was just like, oh, so cool. And it was just a little song that you could bop along to, and you're like, I'm late for the bus. And really? Who's never been late for the bus? Everybody.
Yes, it really is. It's a universal story, right? You're waiting for the bus in the rain, and the bus doesn't come, and other buses come, but not your bus.
At least you didn't get splashed, girl.
Yeah. It's such a catchy tune.
Yes.
It's kind of a companion piece to Crisscross's I Missed the Bus. It's a lot of discussion of buses. I mean, I'm not comparing the two. I'm saying that they're nice complementary pieces for bus-based hip-hop.
That's one of my favorite niches. Of all the niches, of any type of niche you can have, is bus-based hip-hop. It's also fun to say into your pop filter, bus-based hip-hop.
Bus-based hip-hop. That's hard to say. Say that 5 times fast.
When we did one of our first Night Vale live shows, Condos, we did at the Booksmith in San Francisco. It was a really great night, and we filled this bookstore with Night Vale fans, and we did the performance of Condos, and our live weather was Satellite High, who did The Bus is Late for our audience, and it was super cool and super great to have this song kind of blaring through a bookstore on Haight Street in San Francisco for a packed room of gorgeous Night Vale fans. A fun little insider fact is that this was a live weather at one of our first shows.
That's awesome.
That's really awesome. Wait. So they were actually there?
Yeah, Satellite High.
Are they from San Francisco?
I think he was living in the Bay Area at the time.
Oh, it's just one person?
For this application, it was just one person.
Okay, I was just going to say, I was like, you were there, and it was just the one.
Yes, I only saw one dude.
It could have been many dudes in one giant coat.
Yeah, it could have been many dudes in one giant coat. It was September of 2013, so who's to say what was going on in our lives then?
Where were any of us?
I was there. I remember being there, and the people at the Booksmith were really nice to us, and they showed us a really good time. And actually, the person who helped book us there, Lauren O'Neill, went on to become our tour manager for our first
Money,
our first real big tour, and then our
shout out.
Yeah. So, it's an interesting little through line is that's how we met El Money. And El Money is one of, I consider El Money a soul friend,
Yes.
And we met just because they helped book us at the bookstore because Lauren was a fan and helped get Night Vale to this bookstore to do a live show. And now Lauren is in my heart forever.
When being a fan wasn't cool. Yes.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about that for a second. Back in the day, in the early days of Night Vale, when people were just we do things with our friends. That's kind of how the whole deal worked. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we started the podcast. It was Joseph was I like working with Jeffrey. He's a good guy. He is a good writer. Let's see if he wants to work on this thing with me. And it was the same thing with Cecil. It's Cecil is a good guy. Cecil has good voice, is a good actor. And so that's kind of how we picked up strays and now built the company that we have today from just, connecting with people. And when we come across people who are good to work with, really latching on. Which is why I'm on the phone with the two of you years later.
Yeah.
Years and many shows later.
Yeah.
We still find time to join together to speak of our origins.
Oh, it's like, yeah, our origin story. We're like superheroes, kind of.
We did it.
Yep.
We did it, you guys. We did it.
Let's go get Joseph. Hey, Josie, you ready to do it?
Stay right there. Good Morning Night Vale will return after a brief break.
So, Joseph, what's up?
Hey, I'm in the next room over with the door closed so that our voices don't bleed into each other. That's what's up.
That's great. So Joseph, we're talking about episode 2 of the podcast Welcome to Night Vale. I don't know if you're familiar with the podcast Welcome to Night Vale, but we're talking about episode 2, which is Glow Cloud. So this episode,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
This episode,
I thought you were leading into me.
I'm trying to get you on this train. So this episode premiered July 1st of 2012. What was your life like then, Joseph?
Well, I was selling green energy on the streets of New York City. I stood at a table for 5 hours at a time, and I pointed at a piece of paper and I asked people if they paid a Con Ed bill. And then if they did, I tried to get them to sign up for the company I was selling for. So it wasn't great, my life. But
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at your life.
no, you should. It wasn't good. Yeah, it was weird listening to I took a walk today and listened to this. And it's definitely the first time I've listened to it since 2012, probably. Because I reread the script for the script books we did, but I didn't bother listening to those episodes. I just read the scripts for them.
So what were your takes and reactions? Did you have any reactions or takeaways when you listened to it today?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that is super specific to me, just in terms of like I was noticing things with the editing. For instance, there's this weird pause towards the beginning in the middle of a bit where I was just apparently wasn't good enough at editing yet to get rid of that pause. So I was just noticing some bad editing that annoyed me.
Yeah, fun thing to know. Joseph also edits all of these episodes. Produced by Joseph Fink means that he sits with an Audacity file and chops things together and puts things apart and sometimes makes weird sound effects. So that's another thing that Joseph Fink makes for this podcast is the actual nuts and bolts editing. Yeah,
entirely self-taught. So that's where there was a lot less trial and error in episode 2, so I didn't know how to do as much now then. But I was also very pleased with myself. I remember being pleased with myself at the time that if you re-listen to the bit with the scouts, right when Cecil says, I forget which scout name, but it's one of the cool ones, the music shifts into this very cool sounding music, and that was very intentional. I lined that up, and re-listening to it, I felt proud of myself all over again.
That's so awesome, Joseph.
Joseph, is it difficult to listen to any episode of this now without going into that editor brain? Because I when I edit something, if I watch it or listen to it again, all I'm looking at is, all right, I did that well. I did those cuts. Are you able to step back from it also a little bit and sort of appreciate where it sits in the greater canon of Night Vale?
I am noticing the editing, but it's long enough ago that I'm not I can't fix it now, Sure. I'm 6 years too late to fix it. So I'm noticing stuff also this was the first Night Vale that has stuff by Jeffrey in it. The pilot was just me throwing things together, and this is a combination of our writing. So stuff like Jeffrey introduced Hiram McDaniels. I remember him writing that bit. He also introduced Khoshekh. So it was really cool that I remember that feeling of I had kind of gotten the ball rolling on this world, but then having another person catch that ball and start expanding on it in ways that I hadn't thought of was a really cool feeling.
And with working with Jeffrey on the script, how did you go back and forth? Were you sitting together writing that? I don't think a lot of the fans understand how you guys co-write things.
I mean, have you seen the movie Ghost?
Yes.
It's like that, but with a laptop instead.
Wait, are you Whoopi Goldberg, or are you Patrick Swayze, or are you Demi Moore?
Which one do I get to have my shirt off for?
Patrick Swayze.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Great. I never write.
That's the thing.
I never write with my shirt on. It's a moral code, really.
Oh my God! Okay, by the way, now I am going to constantly picture you at your desk in your basement office wearing no shirt, just like furiously typing away.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Yeah, Jeffrey and I, we don't really write together. We always write on our own. There's only been one scene that we ever actually sat in the same room and wrote. Back in those days, we've changed how we do it, but back in those days, what we did is we just had a shared document that we would just both contribute a lot of Night Vale writing to. So it just was filled up with all these possible storylines that we had written and, little traffic bits or whatever else. And then when it was, we'd take turns putting together the episodes. So whoever's turn it was would start grabbing, would pick a main storyline from there, in this case, the Glow Cloud, and then would also grab a bunch of bits like the Eternal Scout bit. And then, I think I was the one that put this together. So I saw the Hiram thing, grabbed that, put it in there, and then we would both edit it. It's changed a bit since then, but that's how we did it back for the first year or so.
I'm now imagining it as you guys just wrote ideas and tossed them in various bins and then just yanked it out. And then we're like, yep, that was your basic outline.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
How far along did you get in doing that, where you're pulling chunks that you've sort of written and contributed to this, it like sort of into the ether? At what point do you look at it and go, okay, now we're looking at larger arcs, and the choices we made to sort of put stuff in episode 3 and 4 now are going to pay off in some way in episode 20, 30, 40, and so forth?
Those decisions tended to happen when we were writing episode 20, 30, or 40 or wherever. We from the beginning, it was very important to us that we have strict continuity, because the other thing is we didn't want to limit on how weird we went. We wanted to be able to do literally anything within that world, but the only way to make that work story-wise is if then everything that happens matters. Everything that happens has to have happened and affect the world moving forward. Otherwise, nothing has any weight. So from the very beginning, we knew we wanted strict continuity and that everything had to kind of carry on and affect each other. And so that kind of led naturally to these long-term storylines, because as a writer, as you build, since you don't want to violate the continuity, you're constantly going back and rereading what's happened and then trying to build on that.
Writing is hard.
Everything's hard.
Writing such a big world is hard. Like Joseph, you always talk about how you don't want to write nonfiction because you don't want to research. You don't want to research. You want to be able to just make things up. But at this point, you have now made up a world that you sometimes need to research to be able to write for.
So true.
Yeah, but there's that like wishy-washiness. If I make a little mistake in I don't want to violate like a major continuity thing, but if I have something happen in episode 100 that in episode 5 we said was illegal in Night Vale, it's not the end of the world. What I always say with like nonfiction, or even worse, historical fiction, is I just get really panicky about all the little details. Like you can research big historical events, but then you're going to get like how belt buckles worked in the 19th century wrong, and someone's going to yell at you. And that's the stuff that gives me a panic attack.
Zippers weren't invented yet, and you're like, God.
There's going to be someone who's going to go, yeah, actually. They're going to say it like that. Actually.
Who was the first person who said, well, actually?
Actually. So Joseph, looking at Glow Cloud and creating the character of the Glow Cloud, which is now such a big part of the fandom and a big part of the story. I mean, we're touring a live show right now called All Hail, which is about the Glow Cloud. We were. When as the date of this airs, you should be able to listen to hopefully your very own episode of All Hail. But yeah, so much in the world has been created around the Glow Cloud. When you were beginning to create this character and create this episode, did you think it would have be such a big important part?
I didn't think much about the future at all at the time. It was such a new project. That it was just sort of a thing to do. Like we hadn't thought at all about here's how long we're going to do this. Here's the future of it. It was just kind of let's do this for now and see if it stays fun. So yeah, as I said, like we didn't start thinking about building long-term stories or revisiting characters much probably for a few months. Because at the beginning we were just trying stuff, and it wasn't until later that it occurred to us to start kind of bringing things back and building out. Really, it wasn't until even the second year that I think we really tried our hand at like a story that went over several episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever go back and listen to episodes when you were writing like season 2? Like, did you ever go back and you're like, oh, what did we say there? Or did you just like let it go?
Oh, we constantly go back. I mean, the nice thing is, so all of our scripts, I probably shouldn't say this because someone's, I'm sure, figured out how to hack Google Documents. But all of our scripts just live in a like shared Google document folder. And the cool thing, well, I would say the cool thing about Google Docs is that it has a search function. That search function is kind of a piece of shit, but it does sort of work. So anytime like from the very beginning and all the way until now, if I'm going to write about a character, I'll search that character in all of our scripts and kind of read the last 5-10 things we said about them.
Okay.
Just to kind of see where they are and make sure that I'm continuing their story in a coherent way.
Nice.
So Joseph, you're on this second ever episode of Good Morning Night Vale. Is there anything you wanted to say or share in this Night Vale chat zone?
Oh yeah, any plugs?
The chat zone. Any plugs? Listen to We Got This.
Good. I like it.
I was sitting here, I was watching Nashville, but then I was worried that was, once the internet started getting weird, I started playing my Switch, and I was listening to you all talk about buses late. I don't think anyone that became such a weird hit with our fans. People really focused on that song. Which I don't think either us or the person that made that song saw coming. That was back when, in my original conception for The Weather, all the songs were going to be kind of weird. And then I abandoned that almost immediately. Like episode 3 is not a weird song at all. It just went into that. My new criteria for Weather became song I like.
Right.
This was still like Satellite High. So Satellite High is one person. It's a guy named Jay Friedman, and I knew him through the website Something Awful, same way I knew John Bernstein, who's Disparition, does the soundtrack for Night Vale. And he has songs I like more. It's just that was kind of a really unusual song. It's actually based on, there was this Twitter account of this guy, and it was like, at the time, back in 2012 or whatever, this Twitter account became kind of a viral sensation. And it was just this guy that was very obsessed with buses, and he would just like take pictures of buses as he rode them, and everyone kind of really got to like him. He was just a very enthusiastic guy who really liked buses. And so
the inside of the bus?
No, usually the outside. Like the guy rode buses, but as he waited, he would take pictures of all the buses and also like tweet about the bus and what it was going on with it. So this song is actually from an EP that Satellite High that was like an entire concept album about this guy's Twitter feed. He has since I think the kind of the focus on the song freaked him out a bit, and he changed his name from Satellite High to something else. And now I don't know if he still does music. He now does a podcast actually called I think it's called I Don't Even Own a TV, about bad books. But yeah, he's kind of taken his own internet journey since 2012.
And the internet's hard, it's a hard mistress, and if you're not prepared for it, it could throw you into a tizzy.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, you're a rapper who is outside of this song, like a serious rapper. Like, this was kind of a joke song, and so I think it was just a little weird for him to have this one blow up,
Weird Al didn't become Weird Al in a day,
He did not. It took him 2 days.
He's so good.
I love Weird Al. Joseph, thank you so much for chatting with us today on Good Morning Night Vale about the Glow Cloud. We really appreciate you taking time out of your very busy schedule, where you make many a podcast and write many a book, to chat with us about this show. So we really appreciate it.
Thank you for creating this show. And now this show where we talk about the show that you created on the network that was created out of that show. And now there are a bunch of other shows. It just blows my mind. After meeting you, we met 5 years ago at a Thrilling Adventure Hour show, and then now look what you did. Damn it!
Now look what I did. Yeah, we met Hal at Thrilling Adventure Hour, and Hal was, from the very first time we met him, just one of the most friendly people I've ever met.
I had fun talking to both of you.
I don't have a follow-up. It's just you're a very nice
There's
person.
a lot of Hal love in this
so are you.
episode, which is good.
I love that you guys are out in LA and we got to have dinner, and like I'm so happy to get to see y'all because I don't get to see you very often. So when I do, I relish it.
Yeah, it's been nice having a friendly face in town, and that friendly face belongs to you, Hal Lublin.
That's right. I'm here.
I want to be there.
Come on.
You keep that friendly face in a jar next to your bed.
Wow, Eleanor Rigby.
Just like Eleanor Rigby.
Yeah, my alarm clock is that face screaming at me in the morning. That's how I wake up.
Thank you, guys.
We're going to close this podcast out with a prayer, as always. Yes. Yeah, thank you so much for listening to episode 2 of Good Morning Night Vale, Good Morning Glow Cloud. Next week, we're going to be talking about the episode Station Management, where we will be hearing from Night Vale listeners out there about their theories, their questions, their comments. We want to hear from you. So look forward to that in our next episode, where we're going to be engaging with you, the listener.
Cannot wait.
Yeah.
As us, the talkers.
I love A-ing cues. So let's get some good cues in there, and we will A the F out of them.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. And I want to say thank you to Hal and Symphony for really bearing with us and being just the most lovely people to have.
Yeah.
Well, thank you to you, because there wouldn't be 3 of us without you. You are also lovely and wonderful and like a den mother to all of us, for goodness sakes.
Because you're a bear mama.
Thank you. Thank you. I am the most cozy in a den. Thank you so much. And good morning, Night Vale. Good morning. Good Morning Night Vale is a Night Vale Presents production. It is hosted by Symphony Sanders, Hal Lublin, and Meg Bashwiner. It is edited by Grant Stewart. It is mixed by Vincent Cacchione. It is produced by Meg Bashwiner. Theme music by Disparition. Special thanks to our guest this week, Joseph Fink. Leave us a voicemail at 929-277-2050 or email us at info@goodmorningnightVale.com to share your theories and to ask questions, or just to recommend places that you like to eat. For more info on this show, go to goodmorningnightVale.com and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Night Vale Chat. Special thanks to Christy Gressman, Jeffrey Craner, Joseph Fink, and Adam Cecil. Today's adverb, majestically. We majestically filed our taxes because we are majestic mermaids. Mermaids with multiple sources of freelance income. W-2s, more like H2O. Mermaids gotta hustle, right?